Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us see how to create EFS, that is Elastic File System, and how to mount EFS to EC2 instance. So for what type of EC2 instance do we mount our EFS? For Linux EC2 instances we mount, right? Yes. So let's see this process. Let's see how to create by using console. So first you need to open EFS service from what are the services available from console search. Before you going to create your EFS, let's create first the security group, where the security group I want to attach to my EFS, so that by using this security group I can only allow my EC2 instances which are connecting from NFS protocol. For that, since I need security group, right? For this, yes, for this EFS, I need a security group. So let's create this by using these configurations. First, you need to provide some security group name. Since it is a EFS security group, I provided name like this. Description your wish. If you want, you can provide, or else no need. Then you must need to put your security group under the same VPC where your EC2 instances are present. And now you need to provide whatever the inbound rules that you are allowing. So I want to allow only whatever the traffic which is coming from network file system through my EC2 instances, and that's it. I just allow the traffic from those only. So I allowed a security group where in that security group my EC2 instances are present, and from those EC2 instances as well, I'm allowing only NFS protocol. Like this, you need to write, add a rule, and just click on create button. Now I just created this EFS security group where I allowed the traffic from a security group. You can see here, so I have already created my EC2 instance, and for that I created a security group. And for this EFS security group that I have created now, I'm just allowing traffic from this security group, from this EC2 instance security group. And which type of traffic I'm allowing? Network file system traffic I'm allowing. Now let us create EFS under this EFS security group. So for that, I need to open EFS service, right? So now I gone for whatever the services I have, and I just searched for EFS and just opened the EFS. Now, if you open first time EFS, then your console will be like this. Your dashboard will be like this. Your dashboard will look like this. Now you just, I want to create EFS, right? So I want to create a file system. So in order to do that, just click on create file system. Then you will go for options to create the file system. Now, in the first step, you need to configure your file system access. In which VPC you want to provide access, and in that VPC also in which region availability zones you want to provide access, that you need to configure. Now for that, I selected what are the VPC that I created, and I want to provide to a single EC2 instance which is present in EU West 1A region. So that's why I selected this, and I provided the security group where my EFS security group that I have created, right? So in that EFS security group, since I am creating this file system, I provided this. So like this, I provided my VPC where I want to put my file system, and where I want to put, in which security group I want to put my file system that I have configured, and in which subnet I want to put, and in which availability zone I want to provide my mount targets. Those also I configured in this step 1. Then you click on next, which option is available in the down right side. After that, you will reach to configure optional settings. Here in the second step, you can see add tags. So first I have added my key as name, and under the value session, I'll provide what are the value I want to put to identify this file system among multiple file systems. So next you have seen the option that is enable lifecycle management. Enable lifecycle management. Now let's see about this lifecycle management. To understand this lifecycle management, first you need to know what are the different storage types which are provided by EFS. EFS mainly provides us two types of storage classes, that is standard storage as well as infrequent access storage. So what is the major difference between them, sir? So the major difference between them comes under access. So based on the access, they are categorized. This standard storage, we can able to access at any time. That is frequently we can able to access this standard storage. Coming to this infrequent access storage, we will access the storage infrequently. We will access our storage infrequently. So since we are accessing infrequently or infrequent access storage, for storing, which charges me more, sir? The cost of this standard storage will be more. That is a standard cost will be maintained by the standard storage. Coming to this infrequent access, it will maintain reduced cost. This infrequent access will maintain reduced cost compared to the standard, because we are accessing our data infrequently, right? So that's why its cost is less compared to this standard. Now let's see about performance. How standard storage will provide me the performance in terms of latency. Let's see latency performance. So coming to standard, this standard storage will provide you low latency response only. That is very fast response it provides. Low latency response. So it provides you low latency response. That means fast response. Fast responses it provides you. Whereas if you see this infrequent access storage, it will provide you high latency response. That means late responses will be provided by this. Late responses will be provided by this. And one more thing is, so this standard storage only cost you for storage. This only cost you for storage. If you see about infrequent access storage, here since we are accessing infrequently, our storage cost is less. Our storage cost is less, and in addition to storage cost, whatever the how many times I am accessing, that cost also added to this. That is how many input outputs, how many input outputs that I performed on my storage, how many times I accessed my object will also provide me charge in this infrequent access. So while choosing the storage in between these two, you need to check with whatever the less cost are based on your accessing and latency, you need to prefer your storage type. Let's say how I hope you watched the previous S3 lifecycle management policies. So now here, let's see this EFS also same like EC2 only. Here also we can able to move our data from one storage class to another storage class by using lifecycle management. So how to move, sir? So you can move after certain duration of time. So by defining a lifecycle management, you can able to move your objects from storage, standard storage to infrequent access storage. So based on number of days, based on the period of accessing. So you set a period of accessing. Based on that, if your object is accessed, then your object is placed under standard storage. So after the certain period also, your object is not accessed, then that object is moved under infrequent access. After certain time, if your object accessed, then the object present in infrequent access storage also moved back to standard storage. Like this, your object will be moved in this way based on certain period. So what are the periods? What are the certain periods that are allowed by AWS to store or else to move? It will provide you very few number of. In this, you need to provide how much amount of period of time you need to maintain. So basically it allows 14 days, 14 days period of time to store in particular storage, and it also accepts 30 days, or else it also accept 60 days and 90 days also accepted. You can able to store your object from day 1 till day 14 under the storage, standard storage. After day 14, your objects will move to infrequent access storage. Infrequent access storage. Let's say you accessed your object on 15th day. Even though you set your period of time in the lifecycle management as 14, your object is still accessed at 15th day. Since it is accessed, your object is again moved back to standard storage. Like this, it will be managed. So whenever you enable your lifecycle management and you provided this period of time, then it will be managed like that automatically. Your storage will be replicate. Your storage will be moved in between these storages. Now there are some limitations for this. What are the limitations, sir? So the limitations here are the object size is greater than 128 KB. Let's say the object size, the object here we call data as file, right? Yeah. Here the file size is greater than or equals to 128 KB. Then it won't be, your data won't move to infrequent access. Let's say your file will be stored in standard storage and your file storage will be, file size will be greater than or equals to 128 KB. It won't be moved. It won't be moved to infrequent access storage from standard storage. So it won't be moved. And one more thing, if your file contains metadata, then also it won't be moved. So these are the limitations that are applicable under this lifecycle management. So while selecting your lifecycle management, you also need to check with these details. So in order to manage the files which are greater than 128 KB and having some metadata, based on the rules that I have specified previously, you just click under this life cycle policy. There you need to select either 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. And then you move on to, you just scroll it up. There you can see some other optional settings. Here you can choose, here in the option settings, you can have again throughput modes, that is burstable mode and provision mode. You choose this provision mode when, if you require high throughput, then you can choose this provision throughput mode. So this is generally used in the scenarios when, if you require very high throughput for less storage even, then you choose this provision throughput, and you need to provide this throughput number, that is how much mbps do you want. In general, if you select the throughput bursting mode, then general throughput provided is 100 mbs per second. That is for standard storage. It provides you for 1 TB, it provides you 100 MBs per second. If you store 1 TB of your storage in file system, then this burstable throughput will provide you up to 100 MBs per second. Whereas if your throughput is on baseline, no extra amount will be charged. If your burstable throughput reaches the credit will be decreasing and it reaches to 0, it again operates on baseline throughput. It makes your application downtime. Then next, you have an option that is performance mode chosen. So for your file system that you created, what is the performance that you are expecting? If you are expecting max input outputs, that is, if you want more than, greater than or equal to 7K input outputs per second, then choose this max IO. If you don't want 7K input outputs per second, then choose this general purpose. So this is the major difference. When do you choose this max IO and when do you choose this general purpose? You choose this max IO when your required number of input outputs per second is greater than 7K. Even this general purpose also provides you low latency, but this max IO will provide you high latency. This is one of the drawback of this max IO. So coming to throughput, that is fast response. This max IO will provide you very fast response compared to general purpose. General purpose will provide you only standard response. So I hope you understood when do you choose this max IO. If you require IOPS greater than 7K, then choose this max AO and even it provides you high throughput. But the only drawback of this max AO is it provides you a higher latency. That means very late response will be provided by using this max AO compared to general purpose. And at final, you can see one option that is enable encryption. Whenever you click on this enable encryption, then whatever the data that you are storing in your EFS, that will be encrypted. Even your data is at rest mode. Then you have at bottom right side, you have next option. You just click on that so that your configurations all will be saved and reach to the last step. Now you successfully completed step 1 and step 2. Now this is the last step, that is review and create. Here you just review whatever the details that you provided, and if everything was right, if everything was correct, then at bottom right side, you can see an option. The name of the option is create your file system. If you click on it, your file system will be created. If your file system will be created within few minutes, within few seconds as well, it will be created in AWS based on the configurations that you provided in step 1 and step 2. Your file system will be created. Let's say your mount, that is your EFS file system is created. based on your specified configurations. Now let's see. Now let us see how can I able to mount this EFS to EC2. Then only I can able to use this EFS on this EC2, right? Yes. So first I need to mount this EFS on this EC2. So previously for mounting, we are using network file system protocol. Now a new mounting agent came, that is EFS mount helper. EFS mount helper. Let's see how to configure. How do we mount our EFS to EC2 instance by using this EFS mount helper? So in order to do this, first you need to install the utensils for this EFS mount helper under your EC2 instance. Then you need to execute the following command. First thing is, first you need to open your Linux EC2 instance by connecting through SSH connection. SSH client connection, you first need to open your EC2 instance, connect to your EC2 instance. Then execute this command, sudo mkdir EFS. This command will create a new directory or new folder with the name EFS on your Linux EC2 instance. Now, in order to mount your EFS, that you created, since you installed this EFS mount helper, you just need to write this command. What is that? Sudo mount t EFS. Sudo mount t represents target. This EFS target is this. This EFS target is this. This is some file system name, and this is mounted to where? EFS directory. Where is the EFS directory that you just created in your EC2 instance? Now, if you execute this command in your Linux EC2 instance, then what happens is your EFS is mounted to this EFS directory. Whatever the directory that you created, there it will be mounted. Like this, by using EFS mount helper, you can directly able to mount your EFS to any one of the directory of your Linux EC2 instance by using a single command. What is the command that we use? Sudo mount, and we specified the target for the EFS. This is the actual thing that I'm mounting to where this folder, this directory in my Linux EC2 instance. So this is how we need to provide like this. We can able to mount like this in our EC2 Linux instance. So this is how you can able to create your EFS, and this is how you can able to mount your EFS to your Linux EC2 instance. So I hope you understood this video, and you also understood what are the configurations and how can you able to do, and you understood about which configuration will be used when, and how to do this EFS creation and mounting to your EC2 instance. So I hope this video is contentful to you and you understood this video. If you feel this video is understanding and contentful to you, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.